Everybody, and welcome back to the Diddy docket. We do have a few things to go over. Primarily, what's going on right now? I mean, compared to the last week or two or whatever, it's been a pretty slow, dry week as far as the Diddy criminal docket. Now, as we do know, there has been some other stuff popping off, like just earlier today, December 12th, it's Thursday. 3 new lawsuits were filed against Diddy by John Doe's in New York State Court. So this is not federal. This is not SDNY. This is not criminal. This is in the state court. 3 new lawsuits, or maybe it's 1. Yeah, it seems like it's 3, but I looked for those. I can't find them, so I don't think they're up yet. But here we are on the docket to the criminal case. And I think the last time we left off on like an official Diddy Docket podcast, I think we're around here. Either we did 104 or 105. So document 104, we definitely did. That is one of the prosecutors who is joining the feds. And this is Olga Zvirovich. She's joining from the filter team. Okay, so she's only joining because of the issue of whether or not that legal pad did say legal on it and all that, all of that stuff having to do with the raid and the legal and the notepads and the legal pads and all that. So she's from the filter team. Also, Matthew Rafi Shahabian, he also joined for the same purpose as Olga. This is another one from the filter team. So that's number 104 and 105. 105 was Matthew Shahabian joining. Now, number 106 is a motion which was filed 2 days ago. It was a motion as to those 2 people. Okay, so Olga and Matthew, they file a motion. Let me pull that up. We did talk about this on a recent live stream, but for the purposes of keeping track with every document, and all of that as they come out, here is document number 106. This is from Olga and Matt, who just joined. See Olga and Matthew. So basically, they're just letting the judge know that because of the way that he had currently sealed some of the stuff that the government previously did have access to, Olga and Matthew are coming through and saying, look, we're not going to be able to actually address like the full scope of the argument, Your Honor. We're only going to be able to address like one piece. And if you can't make your decision based on that, we may end up needing to open up this case more. We may need to end up actually being able to lay eyes on the evidence, et cetera, et cetera. So that is what document 106 is all about. Okay, so now let's look at what is document number 107. This is a letter from Diddy and Alexandra Shapiro, who is importantly, not Mark Agnifilo. Remember, I told y'all, Mark Agnifilo seems to be suspiciously absent from these evidentiary filings ever since he was the one that put it out in open court that, oh yeah, it said legal on it. And really, maybe it did not. So yeah, this is Diddy's lawyer. This was filed yesterday, document 107. It says the defense, that's Diddy's lawyers, write in response to the government's letter at 106 regarding defendant Sean Combs's motion for a hearing, suppression, and other relief. Specifically, Diddy's lawyers say, we write to address the government's request that the court order the defendant to provide unredacted copies of the filings. Okay. So they're kind of going back and forth. I don't really want to read every single sentence. I just want to give you all the gist as far as today is concerned. But they're going back and forth on what the government is asking the judge for. And in my opinion, from my reading of things, it's a little bit premature for Diddy and his lawyer to be jumping in like this because the government didn't like outright ask for unredacted copies of stuff. The government did say, because Mark Agnifilo and Diddy gave us redacted copies of stuff, we are only going to be able to address some arguments in our papers and in our filings. And so for that reason, if you're not able to make your decision based on our arguments, we may need you to order Diddy to, in the alternative, can you order him to turn over the unredacted documents? Because right now the government does not have them either, right? Like Diddy had redacted a bunch of stuff in his filings and the government does not have them, apparently, according to what's being told to us. Okay. So this document 107 is just Alexandra Shapiro, which is Diddy's lawyer, kind of saying, look, Your Honor, that no, don't unredact. We need to keep it secret and private. We don't need them knowing. Okay. So they're going back and forth. Now, The judge does decide on this issue at document 108 in an order which he attaches to the letter. So here you go. See, whenever there's this stuff right here in blue font, I don't know if y'all are colorblind, sorry, but like right here, this is different colors, blue. So the judge has given an order. Okay, he attached it to the government's filter team request. And that was document 106. Okay, so now we're at 108. It's an order. And here's the judge's order right here. The court understands the filter team's position and does not require any further action from the filter team. So he's saying, okay, I understand where you're coming from, filter team. Right now, I don't need any further arguments from you. Let's see if we can decide it on this. I'm not going to order anything open. That's fine. I hear you. Thank you for bringing it to my attention. And then he goes on to say, I don't need any further action from you. Thank you for submitting your stuff. See y'all at the hearing. Okay, the hearing is supposed to be on the 18th. Okay, so that was document number 108. We do have one more new filing at the time of the recording of this video. Oh, two more. We have 109 and 110. Okay, so here's document 109. Let me pull that up. And this one I think is the most substantial and possibly also most substantive of the documents filed in the batch that we're doing the video on today. So this is another order, okay, and this is in preparation for the hearing. There's a hearing coming up on this issue, this legal notepad, notebook, MDC, prison sweep, all that. Because remember, Diddy's lawyers are maybe even trying to all the way up to get a mistrial on the issue. Okay, so this is a big deal. There's going to be a hearing on it in about 6 days, in about a week or so. And there's going to be a hearing on it next week. And all these documents we're reading today pretty much are all leading up to that. Okay, and then there's a little bit of extraneous stuff having to do with the laptop. But again, Mark Agnifilo and Alexandra Shapiro are really tying their arguments to this laptop. They're saying one of the reasons Diddy needs his laptop and taking notes on the laptop is because of this sweep. You know, they keep bringing it back up. But pretty much everything we've read today and we're going to be reading today has to do with that upcoming hearing on was it legal, was it not, you know, privileged communications, et cetera, et cetera. So here is document 109, and it is an order from the judge. There's 3 orders kind of crammed into this one order, okay? I guess let's just read the first paragraph, in fact. So the judge says, the court is in receipt, so it has received Diddy's application regarding the Discovery laptop. Now, we did read this. The Discovery laptop is Diddy wants to take notes on the laptop, and he wants to have the laptop pretty much all day, every day, wherever he wants to have it. And the government's like, no, he can have it in, you know, one of 2 places. And I think that's fine. So this is the judge kind of ruling on that issue. Okay. He says, having reviewed the parties' submissions, the court orders as follows. Number 1, the jail, the MDC, is ordered not to turn over any of Diddy's attorney visitation forms to the government. Okay. Remember, that was one of the issues we covered. I don't remember exactly which docket item it was, maybe 95, docket 95. So the judge is saying, hear ye, it is so ordered. Jail, don't turn over to the prosecutors any more of Diddy's attorney visitation logs. Now, this may feel and seem like a big win for Diddy. However, it is not as much of a win as you might think. And this is why. Because the government has already said in their documents and in their filings, we didn't ever have any reason to seek these visitation forms in the first place, other than the fact that Diddy placing them directly at issue in this pre-trial. And we also have no intention to seek them in the future unless we absolutely have to. So we don't really need to see them in the future. And we really didn't need to see them in the past, except for Diddy bringing them right up into being an issue. So this wasn't an issue that was really heartily argued or gone back and forth. It was more like conceded. The government was like, fine, whatever. We don't even need to see that crap no more, whatever. So the judge is just memorializing it and putting it in writing. In my opinion, that's how I'm reading it. I don't have any more information than y'all. I'm reading it off the screen. Okay, again, this is document 109. It's a judge's order, and it's basically 3 orders in one. Okay, so we just read the first part. Now, the second order, number 2, the MDC is ordered to give Diddy access to the Discovery laptop 7 days per week. Okay, 7 days per week. Remember, there was an issue whether he was going to have it 5 or 7. From 8 to 3:30, the judge says y'all can do this in either one of Diddy's optional choices between in his unit's visiting room, so where there's visitation, or in his unit's Zoom room. So pretty much I think this is a little bit of a split the baby situation. If I recall correctly, I'm just doing this off the top of my head. I've talked about these issues extensively ad nauseum. If y'all want to really know, then go back and either watch those or get the documents yourself. But I'm just just spitballing off the top of my head right now. I think I remember, this is what I think I remember. I think I remember that it was either, he had 2 options the government thought were fine. One option was 5 days a week, 8:30 to 3:30 in the Zoom room, Monday through Friday, the teleconference room. But in the teleconference room, he was going to be interrupted. Maybe other people needed to use it. And if they did, he had to leave. Then there was also the option 7 days a week in the visitation room. Now they went back and forth. Over this. And this is the judge saying he can actually go 7 days a week in the Zoom room. Here's the thing I find interesting here. The judge does leave it a little bit ambiguous because the jail had said, we can't do both. He has to choose one. Now, that was because what they had said was they have staffing issues, and because of the sensitive nature of the items in the laptop, which is all mostly sealed stuff that other people aren't supposed to see, that because of that, the jail could really only give him access in one of these spots. Okay. Now, the judge kind of seems to leave it open a little bit here. It's ambiguous. And here's a clue prediction point. I think it may end up being an issue because this number 2 order, it does not resolve that issue, right? Is this like Diddy gets to choose each and every day where he wants to sit and have access to the laptop? Or is it based on the prison, based on MDC's availability? I mean, it really doesn't. It just says it can be in either one of these. So I don't know. I think there's going to need to be a little more clarification because I could see them being this coming up at issue as to how to interpret this. It's a little vague. Okay. And then the third part of the order, or the third sort of mini order on this main order, the judge says the purpose of the discovery laptop is to review discovery. Okay. It is not to take or store notes. Do you see this? The judge is siding here with the government. The discovery laptop is not for him to take notes. It's not for him to store notes. The judge says, it's my understanding that the laptop has been preloaded with discovery materials, but this does not allow any functionality beyond just reviewing those materials. Okay, so the court is saying, this is my understanding, and so it better be the case, or somebody better tell me if I'm wrong. But the court understands that this laptop isn't even equipped with the functionality to take a note. Okay, that's my understanding. So it better be the case that laptop can't even take a note. The judge goes on to say, if Diddy wishes for broader access to the discovery laptop, his lawyer or lawyers should discuss this issue with the feds. They should go talk about it. And then the feds should, quote, consider any reasonable proposals that are made in good faith and work with the Bureau of Prisons lawyer over there, the BOP lawyer, and work with the staff at the prison and the jail or whatever it is to effectuate this. So basically he's saying, y'all better go freaking sort it out of my face about this laptop and if he can take notes on it. Okay, go. Then he predicts, it is kind of predictable they're not going to be able to do that, right? So then the judge is like, if there are further disputes, the court will consider adjustments to this order. Okay, so here, I am predicting it right here. A clue, paw print, put it right here. I'm predicting it. This is going to come back around. Who gets to decide where he is, when he is? Is it the prison? Is it the jail? Is it the lawyers? Is it the government? Is it Diddy? Is this daily? Is this weekly? Does he get to choose? Is it one time? Is it, you know what I mean? I think that's going to be a point of contention. I think it's going to be a, quote, further dispute. The court says, I will consider adjusting the order in that case, but really y'all need to go try and figure it out. Okay, and look at this little warning he tacks here onto the end. However, any proposal should be mindful of the court's protective order. So don't be putting stuff in here that's all sealed and you're making it unsealed here for everybody. Y'all need to remember we have a protective order in place that everyone agreed to. And any further proposals should also consider the nature of the materials on the Discovery laptop. So that's kind of another way of saying Agnifilo and Alexandra Shapiro, before y'all come over here barking up this tree about having Diddy all out in the room and all out in the open and everything, I'm letting you know he needs to be somewhere private. Okay, that's me reading between the lines. I'm just reading between the lines from right here. Obviously, I don't know what the judge is thinking, but that's what I take him to mean. Any proposal, right? See, if there's further disputes, if y'all can't get along, I will consider amending this order and making adjustments to it. However, before y'all come over here, this is to both sides. Y'all need to remember there's a protective order in place. Stuff has to remain sealed. That being said, remember what's on the laptop is sealed stuff. Hint, hint, Diddy. You can't walk around the whole MDC and be in your private prison cell and all of that, jail cell. And the court is also saying you should also remember before you come back over here, bring this crap back up to me again. Diddy is not isolated in his unit. So that's saying Mark Agnifilo, Alexandra Shapiro, before y'all come back over here, saying this isn't good enough. And before you appeal this to my boss at the appeals court, you need to make sure you remember that this is sealed evidence. This is highly private and everybody already agreed to keep it private. And Diddy is not alone in his cell. If Diddy wants to be alone in his cell and in his unit, maybe that's a different story. But the judge is saying, just for history's sake, these are his primary considerations. And very likely this is what he considered in making his decision on when and where Diddy could access this laptop and for what purpose Diddy could use the laptop. So last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, we started out with a question. When, where, how often, and for what purposes and what ways is Diddy allowed to use the Discovery laptop? We now have a resolution and it is at document number 109. Almost forgot. Okay, so there's actually one final document, document number 110. It's really not a big deal document, but I do want to show it to y'all just so that we're up to speed and we're all the way caught up to what's actually filed as close as possible. This is document number 110, and it's another order. It's another order from the judge. He's saying by Monday, this coming Monday, December 16th at noon, that's the local time of the Southern District of New York, the parties, the judge says, should meet and confer. Okay, so by Monday, y'all need to have a meeting, and it could be on the phone or whatever, and submit to me a joint letter together listing the topics that you wish to discuss at the conference scheduled for December 18th. Okay, so this isn't just, oh, here's the issues. The judge is funny for this. He's smart. The judge is like, I don't want Mark to submit a letter and the government to submit a letter and everybody tell me what y'all want to talk about. Nope, 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 nope. I want y'all to go get together and come back to me, work on a group project and come back to me, the judge teacher, with what y'all want to talk about on December 18th, because we're not going to be doing a circus show. Okay. Y'all need to go work together. Go hug your brother, basically. Nope, go hug him. Do I think this is going to be successful? Absolutely not. I think they're going to each end up filing their own letters with the court. But this is good because the judge is laying groundwork. No matter what this is getting appealed, somebody's appealing, no matter what this judge does. So he's laying the groundwork. Look, bosses at the appeals court, I'm trying to make them work together. They ain't working together. Okay. So I'm doing my best. Okay. So hopefully I'm wrong. Okay. Hopefully they can actually come together and join forces, work on this letter and tell the judge what they want to talk about. But based on what we've been seeing the last several months, I don't see it happening. But yeah, that's what document number 110 is. It's an order from the court, from the judge saying y'all need to get together before Monday, both sides, feds and Diddy side. And y'all need to come together and put it on a little bullet point list, joint letter, what y'all want to talk about whenever we come to that evidentiary hearing meeting, because we're not doing circus shows out here. That's basically the translation. Okay, that's all I really had on this docket. Let me just double check the docket right now. I have been recording for about 19 minutes or so, and anything in the world could have happened in that time. No, nothing new. Okay. The They Lied merch limited edition is almost completely sold out. I think there's a couple medium, large sizes left in the shirt, and then there's only a few size smalls left in the hoodies. I will be back maybe later today, maybe tomorrow or something. I want to get a hold of those 3 John Doe lawsuits that were filed in the New York Supreme Court, which is the state court. They have not been uploaded for the public to see on the e-filing docket yet, which I think is very interesting because all of these news sources, Chloe Malos and the rest, all have these. But once those are public, I'll either go live or I'll make a video on them. Could be today, could be tomorrow, could be who knows when. But that's all I really have for today. In the meantime, facts ain't defamation, and neither is reading the public docket, girl. Love you, Minnie K. Bye.